Obama beats Congress on the Iran deal, and that's bad news. I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.Media. There will be celebrations at the White House and among Obama supporters, but the fact that his deal with Iran over their nuclear program is now assured of proceeding, well, that should be worrisome to anyone who wants peace, anyone who fears nuclear Iran, and anyone that supports Israel. More on why the deal is bad in a minute, but let's go over what happened, why the deal is all but assured. Obama needed 34 senators to override any negative vote on this deal, and now he has them. Senator Barbara Mikulski, a veteran Democrat from Maryland, issued a statement on Wednesday saying she will reluctantly support the deal struck between Iran, the United States, and allies. Here is part of what she said in her statement. The conditions for the lifting of sanctions are strict and verifiable, and with continued international support, sanctions could snap back. The lifting of the sanctions comes more quickly than I would like, and snapback will require continued international support, but after considering the alternatives, I will support this agreement. Now, her support comes after two other Democrats that had reservations gave in to White House lobbying and backed the deal. Bob Casey of Pennsylvania actually put out a 17-page report explaining why he was backing the deal. And Chris Coons, another Democrat from Delaware, well, he gave an explanation for his support in a speech.
I will support this agreement and vote against any measures to disapprove it in Congress. I will support this agreement because it puts us on a known path of limiting Iran's nuclear program for the next 15 years with the full support of the international community. The alternative to me is a scenario of uncertainty and likely isolation. Finally, I will support this agreement despite its flaws because it is the better strategy for the United States to lead a coalesced global community in containing the spread of nuclear weapons.
Now, make no mistake, these Democrats were subject to intensive lobbying efforts by the White House, and they're supporting it despite having real reservations. The White House still does not have enough people backing this deal to win a vote in the Senate, just enough to allow President Obama to veto anything coming out of the Senate that he doesn't like. In essence, these senators are allowing the White House to stop the Senate from performing one of their key functions, providing oversight on foreign policy and ratifying treaties. The White House will strip that power away with the help of these 34 senators. Republicans have been universally opposed to the deal, but they only have 54 members in the Senate. The Democrats have 44, and there's two independents, Angus King of Maine, Bernie Sanders of Vermont, both of whom actually caucus with the Democrats. So Republicans knew they needed some Democrats to come out against the deal. Bob Menendez of New Jersey, he opposes the deal, and so does Chuck Schumer of New York. He's a powerful man in the Senate. Schumer rejected President Obama's claim that this was all about take this deal or war. Schumer said rejecting the deal did not need to lead to war, and then explained why he couldn't support it. Quote, I believe Iran will not change, and under this agreement, it will be able to achieve its dual goals of eliminating sanctions while ultimately retaining its nuclear and non-nuclear power. That's a real fear right there. While John Kerry claims the deal will allow inspectors access to any site at any time, that simply isn't true. The deal allows Iran to stall inspectors for nearly a month before granting them access, and they can forbid them access to some sites. Iran's public claims on the deal are vastly different than what John Kerry puts out there. So let's look at the opposition. Like I said, the Republicans, including the presidential candidates, have hit hard against this deal, but few as hard as Ted Cruz, who says the lifting of sanctions and the release of previously frozen assets will enrich the regime in Tehran with billions upon billions of dollars. This is what Cruz has been saying about that portion of the deal time and again.
Number one, if this deal goes through, over $100 billion will flow to Iran. They will pass it on to Hamas, to Hezbollah, to the Houthis. Without exaggeration, the Obama administration, President Obama and Hillary Clinton and John Kerry, will become the leading global financiers of radical Islamic terrorism in the world. That money will be used to murder Americans, to murder Israelis, to murder Europeans. That makes no sense.
Now, there are some opposed to the deal, including some Republicans who say, well, Cruz shouldn't be saying things like that. Well, is it accurate? Without Obama and the Obama administration, Iran would not get that money. And even John Kerry admitted in congressional testimony that the money very well might be used to fund terrorism, as Iran has been doing for years. No deal, no money. No push from Obama, no deal to make Iran rich again. The deal may make life a little bit more difficult for Iran, but there are so many holes in it that, like Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer said, I can't help but believe this will not stop Iran's nuclear program. The Saudis don't trust this deal. They're now expected to begin a mini arms race to get their own nuclear bomb as an insurance against Iran, an arms race in the Middle East, Israel under even greater threat. That's the result of this deal. President Obama has said that it was this deal or war. I say there's a very good argument that this deal may lead to war rather than prevent one.